Okay, so now we're up to paraphrasing all the information from your resources. So the first thing, again, that I need you guys to do, I need you to log into Noodle Tools. Once you've logged into Noodle Tools and you have the list of your projects, again, up here, I want you to click on the project for our research class, and your project should pop up. Now, what I would like you to do is we're going to paraphrase and we're going to go through the bibliography portion or the bibliography site because it's just easier. So once you've logged in, click on bibliography and all of your resources that you have cited should pop up. All right, so here's my 5. Now let's say that you want to paraphrase information from each of your resources, which is what you would want to do. So you're going to make your paraphrase index cards, note cards, from here. Okay, so see where it says note cards right here? And you have new next to my Hargrove resource. I have new against my LaGuerre resource, new against my Stevens resource, etc., etc. Let's say that the first piece of evidence I want to paraphrase is coming from my Watkins. So I'm going to click on new for note cards. All right. And what will pop up is my index card that I can start typing up on. So here's the best part of it. The source is already given to me if I go through this format and this notion. It already states that the source I'm getting it from is Watkins and Paul. So where it says title and main idea right here, this is going to be your notes. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to either put blue inquiry, red inquiry, green inquiry, or orange inquiry, whichever color that the information you want to paraphrase is answering. So let's say that the piece of evidence that I am going to paraphrase from Watkins answers my red inquiry. So for title, I'll type in red inquiry. And I may put in parentheses, how water is wasted. All right. So now I'm going to put, right here it says direct quote. I'm going to put in direct quote. So the direct quote states, families execute about 4 loads of laundry every 7 days. Research showcases that a single load needs at a minimum 2 gallons of water in order to properly function. So what happens is, after I put the quote, again, use quotes as a way to, that way it's a little larger for you to see. Use quotes because it's a direct quote coming from the resource. In parentheses, I'm going to put Watkins because that is the author. And I'll put the page number where it came from, which is 4, period, at the end. So this is my, I'm just going to make this a little bigger for you guys so it kind of stands out. Make it a little bigger. So this is my direct quote here, okay? This is the quote that I want to use and I want to paraphrase, all right? So please remember to use the paraphrasing skills that we have gone over together in class. It's important. It's extremely important because watch this. If I go, families execute about 4 loads of laundry every 7 days. Research showcases that a single load needs at a minimum 2 gallons of water in order to properly function. So watch this. Let's say I start typing for my paraphrase, families perform about 4 loads of laundry every week. Research showcases that a load needs at a minimum 2 gallons of water. Here's the issue with this. Families perform, families execute. I'm already starting off families. I'm already starting off with the same word. About 4 loads of laundry. About 4 loads of laundry. Every 7 days. Every week, at least I switched up week and 7 days. I know I switched up perform and execute, but everything else sounds the same. I have families. About 4 loads of laundry. again, about 4 loads of laundry. Research showcases that a load needs a minimum. Here's the issue. The paraphrase right here is still too close in terms of the phrasing from Watkins. Paraphrase, again, is in your own words. Paraphrasing is in your own words. It's not rewriting a sentence where it's so closely written to the words discussed by Watkins. So please remember the 3 things that you guys can utilize when you're paraphrasing. You have reordering, you have using synonyms, and you have using your own words and verbiage. Okay, so let's say I want to go to thesaurus.com. So let's go back and forth here. So I don't want to start off with the word families, right? I don't even want to start with families because to start up here, let's use the first skill. Let's reorder. It says research showcases that a single load needs at a minimum 2 gallons of water in order to properly function. All right. So a single load, single meaning 1. So maybe I'll start it off. I'm going to take the idea in this sentence. This is how I'm going to reorder it. I'm going to take the idea in this sentence right here. And this sentence is going to start off my paraphrase. And I'll end with this guy. I'm going to reorder it. I'm going to take the idea from this side first. So I'll put in, so this sentence right here is talking about how much water a single load uses, correct? It says research showcases that a single load needs at a minimum 2 gallons of water in order to properly function. So it's talking about how much water is needed for 1 wash of laundry. So instead of saying a single load, I'm going to type 1 load of laundry. Because if I'm starting off my paraphrase here, if I just say 1 load requires 2 gallons of water, 1 load of what? So 1 load of laundry. Now, needs. So let's go to thesaurus.com. I'm going to type in needs. Search. So you have needs requirement right here. So I didn't even get to see the words right here because it said right here requirement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change needs to requires. So 1 load of laundry requires. Now at a minimum, I'm going to put in minimum. I'm using synonyms. So minimum, least. Again, least possible. So instead of minimum, the author uses it, requires at least. And then I'm going to keep 2 gallons. I'm going to keep that quantitative number because I need to. At least 2 gallons of water, period. I reordered the sentence because I reordered Watkins phrasing because I put, instead of having how much water a single wash uses at the end of my resource, I'm putting it at the beginning. And now I still need to include this piece of information, that families execute 4 loads of laundry every 7 days. Every 7 days is the same way. I'm going to just use the skill of putting my own words. I don't say every 7 days. I say every week. Instead of families. So I want to use something different than families. So let's type in families. Going through the list of synonyms. I have households. Yeah, households use water. So I'm going to type in. Also, instead of research, I'm going to go here. I'm going to find another synonym for research. Let's say I look through it, I don't like anything, but I see studies right here. So I go, all right, great. So studies Now it says research showcases. That just means studies are proving. That's all that means. So make sure I spell each term correctly. Studies prove that every household, instead of family, I'm saying households, and I'm reordering the sentence. Studies prove that every household performs an average of 4 loads a week. Now, instead of the period there, since this is the end of my paraphrase, I'm going to put Watkins 4 in parentheses because that indicates that this entire piece was a paraphrase. And now I clearly paraphrased my quote and piece of evidence. I took Watkins' words, this is Watkins' words right here, and I put it in my own. And I kept the meaning of what Watkins was saying, except I used my own words, and I made sure that my paraphrase did not repeat what Watkins stated. So again, Watkins' quote is saying that families execute about 4 loads of laundry every 7 days. That means most families use 4 loads of laundry a week. Research showcases that a single load needs at a minimum 2 gallons of water. So this sentence is showing how much water is used in 1 load. 2 times 4 means that households are using at least 8 gallons of water a week just for washing clothes. So look, I wrote 1 load of laundry requires at least 2 gallons of water. Studies prove that every household performs an average of 4 loads a week. I put it in my own words right here. All right. So again, instead of families, I have household. Instead of execute, I have performs. I needed the numbers to be the same though. 4 loads of laundry, 2 gallons of water, 2 gallons, 4 loads of laundry. I needed all the numbers to be the same because the numbers are the quantitative data. That I couldn't really skirt around. But instead of saying research showcases, I have studies prove. And again, I reordered the quote. I put the information that Watkins had in the second half of his quote in the first half of my paraphrase. All right, so this is how you're going to paraphrase each piece of evidence you want to use. You should paraphrase as many pieces of evidence as you would like to paraphrase from each resource. At a total, you should have about 40 different pieces of evidence in total, between 30 to 40. And it's going to vary between resources. Some resources, so after I save this, you see that I have 1 index card here. You should have a total of 40 note cards in between your 5 resources. Some resources, maybe I'm going to have 8 from here. And maybe from this guy, I'm only going to have 2. And then maybe from this guy, I'm going to have about 10. It's going to vary between resources. But at the end of it all, you should have about 30 to 40 note cards or your paraphrases. And that's how you're going to paraphrase using the skills taught in class.